Hey, welcome back to Club Junkies What's in the Bag for Men's League Night. And we're on week 19, going into week 19. So, again, getting close. We're a 20-week league. I'm going to keep playing as long as I can because as long as the weather's nice out, I'm going. I mean, I live in Metro Detroit, so winter hits and we're done. So I'm going to play as long as I can. So we'll keep doing What's in the Bags, but League Night will officially be over after next week, the 20th. So last week, getting to last week, I shot 39, so went back and got a little better than my 48 from 2 weeks ago. I'll tell you what, the irons were the toughest part, just yardage-wise. So when I went to TPI, I got fit into the Titleist T250 launch spec, which are the ones that are about 4 degrees weak. And they're great because they help get the ball in the air. I'm able to hit it higher. I had like a peak height there during my fitting of like well over 100 feet, which for me is great. And but when I got done with the fitting, we kind of just went with, you know, the dispersion was great, the feel, I mean, everything about it was great. They were just about 3 to 5 yards shorter, depending on the club. And that was fine. So I'm old enough, I'm almost mid-40s, where I'm not having any pride. I can play that. As long as they go straight and I know the distance, if I need to use a little bit more club, not a big deal. And I got there, and the first shot that I hit was on the second hole, and I hit kind of a low-toe 7-iron that made the front of the green. I was actually pretty impressed that it made the front of the green. I thought it was going to be a little bit short. So that was like, okay, great. And I played it down. It was like a 155 shot, I think. And for me, like 7-iron's 160. So I played 7-iron, and it ended up in front of the green, but it was a miss hit. And then we walked to the next hole, which is a par 3. And the flag on that day was, with the tee box and the flag, was 145. And I picked 8-iron because the same thing. You know, I figured 8-iron is kind of a 150 club. We'll play it a little bit longer. And I flushed it, just flat out flushed it, and I flew the green and the bunker behind the green, and the ball was in bounds by like 3 feet next to the fence. So I had to hit this shot over a hill, covering a bunker, but with a tree covering it. It was just a terrible shot. So I ended up getting it actually on the green, which I was pretty shocked at, but I still made double bogey. And yeah, the rest of the round, I mean, I hit decent iron shots. It was just yardage-wise. I just wasn't there yet. So I've got to dial those in. When I hit the ball well, it kind of went the distance that I wasn't expecting. It kind of went further. So I was hitting a little bit further than I was at TPI. So that's interesting. We'll kind of see. I need to take them out, those T250 launch specs, and hit them a little bit more so I know distance-wise kind of where I'm at. Because that was the struggle, was I was hitting decent shots. I just was ending up either short or long of where I thought. So I'm going to go back. I'll hit some more. We'll go to the range. I'll get those things dialed in. But accuracy-wise, all that, really, really solid with the T250 launch specs. So rest of the round, I was okay. Driver was hit and miss. Hit a great drive on 1, hit a good drive on 2, and then, you know, on the par 5, actually hit a great drive on the par 5. And then on 16, hit one left, kind of into the rough, got kind of blocked out by a tree. Same thing, 17, kind of heeled one into the tree line on the left. And then 9, I tried to kind of take an aggressive line with driver, and I just caught the very right edge of a bunker, and it fell in. But driver was kind of hit or miss. It was there. And then putting, I didn't make anything, but I also wasn't like 3-putting. So I was putting okay. Everything was pretty much a 2-putt. And yeah, the wedges were okay as well. Like I wasn't hitting anything crazy close, but I was getting it on the green, and that was solid. So overall, I think the iron's going to be all right. But shot a 39, so I was good with that. And we'll jump into week 19. So week 19, second to last week, and I'm kind of bummed, man. The summer's coming to an end, and this is a little bit of a bummer. But we'll jump in this bag this week. It's going to be interesting. I don't think it's anything too crazy. You know, I was definitely trying to think of stuff I haven't played yet to get it into the mix. But we're going to start at the top, as we always do, in driver. We're going to go with the old PXG Black Ops, but this is the Tour-1. So this is the Black Ops Tour-1, which is their lower spin, more compact head. Still has 3 movable weights, you know, 2 on the sole, up near the face, 1 in the back. Mine, I've got the heavy weight set in back, the lighter one's up front. You know, carbon crown. It's got a little deeper face than the standard Black Ops driver, but the Tour-1, super low spin. PXG touted it as kind of like the lowest spinning driver they've ever made, or close to it. But it's actually got a little bit of forgiveness when you move the weight back. And it's interesting because I feel like some of these, like the mini drivers and stuff like that, I do swing them just a little bit better, I feel like, when they're not the big 10K drivers. So we're going to see how this one goes. I don't necessarily need the low spin, so that is not something that I need. I've set it at neutral at 10.5, but we'll see. I may move this up to like an 11.2 because it does have, on this all-fit tip, you can move it up 0.75 degrees. So I might move it up a little bit. But this thing, driver head-wise, is pretty darn good. It is a little bit more penalizing than the standard head, but it's not crazy penalizing if you do miss it. So we'll see how this one goes. I know that I've had this thing before, and I've hit it in some shots that have gone a long, long way. So if I can hit some good drives, hopefully be in the fairway, be a little bit more consistent. Now, shaft on this one is going to be the Fujikura Ventus TR Blue 6X. So this is a shaft that I pretty much gamed most of last year. I had this in my TSR2, and it was my gamer, this in my TSR2 head. I played really, really well. Liked this thing a lot. And it was funny. I started playing it only because I think it was Rory switched back into this from like Ventus Black or something like that at a short time, like a year ago. And I was like, oh, I have one of those too. Like I usually like blue profiles. And I put it together and hit it well, and it kind of stuck with me up until I got fit for GT. But this was kind of my my gamer shaft for a while. So gonna play this one here. I like that the TR has this spread toe fabric in the handle, a little bit more for stable, a little bit stiffer up near the handle section. I've got a little quicker tempo, so the softer handle, the blue, is kind of for me hit or miss. When I'm swinging good, it's a cannon. When I'm swinging a little quick or getting a little jerky with it, it tends to get offline a little bit. This is kind of the best of both worlds. I think it launches a little bit lower than traditional blue and spins just a little bit less, but a good stout feel to it, stable. And like I said, I like the stiffer handle section in this. So we're gonna go with this for driver this week. And then for 3-wood, we are going to bust out an old friend. So after Scotty Scheffler last week won the BMW, I was doing his what's in the bag, and he's still playing Qi10 driver, fairways, all that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to bust back out my Qi10 3-woods. This is my TaylorMade Qi10 3-wood. This is my gamer all last year. I like this thing a lot. I thought it was super underrated. I can see why so many guys on tour play it. Now, this is a retail head. It's not anything tour or anything like that. But it is just a great blend of distance, forgiveness, height. Easy to hit off the deck. Got a deep enough face, you can hit it off the tee. It's forgiving. When you miss it off center, it goes straight. And it gets in the air. You know, it may not be the highest launching fairway out of the whole line or anything, but it was really good. And I think this just has that blend of, you know, whether you're a better player, whether you're a higher handicap, whatever, this thing is going to be really good. And I played it all last year. I loved it. So I'm going to break it back out. Haven't played it yet this year, but we'll see if there's any magic from last year in it. But I really like this thing. It's got a really traditional look. It's a hair closed at address, which I don't love, but again, that didn't really matter. I was hitting this thing really, really well. So we're going to bust this thing out. It's a 15-degree head, bonded hosel, so no adjustments or anything like that. Gloss black top. I think it looks really good, and it's just a really solid 3-wood. So this is shafted up with a UST Mamiya Link M40X Blue TSPX. So these are the concept shafts. So big difference is the Link Blue that you see out there. That's not TSPX, typically has M40X material like in the tip section. This thing runs that high-end M40X through the whole entire shaft. So it definitely feels a little bit more stiff than the standard one. But these things here, they make a black, a blue, which is mid-launch, and then they make a red. These things are, I think, some of the most underrated shafts out there. If you haven't tried them, they are definitely worth trying. Very stable. Good launch, good feel to them. But yeah, this is the mid-launch, kind of low spin, mid-low spin, and it works great in a fairway. Helps get the ball up in the air. I do have a red that I thought about swapping out for this, but I've hit this really well. So this thing here, yeah, the blue mid-launch. This is a 70X. I did not tip it as much as it used to be, as they recommend. I think they recommend, I don't know if it's a ½ inch or an inch. I think this is pretty close to straight in. It might be at the most maybe a ½ inch in here. And this thing's playing at 43 inches. So yeah, but a great one here. I've been a big fan of this thing, and yeah, between this shaft and this head, just been a great combo. So we're gonna put this thing back in the bag and see if it works for me. See if it goes back to being a solid one. So the 3-wood hunt is still on at the moment, and if something older still works, hey, great. So then I move usually into 7-wood as the next club in the bag, and we're gonna go Titleist GT2 7-wood or 21 degree, because they don't really put 7-wood on there. They just put the loft. But it's a 7-wood here. This thing here is kind of a really compact 7-wood, but it's got a pretty deep face on it. When you look at the face depth on it, you can definitely see it's high. Yes, I have a little sky mark. I did that the first day I got it on a wet course. Foot slipped, got steep, went under it, and that was a bummer, but it's still playable. It's fine. So this thing here, really good look, really compact from address. You know, it's not as big or as big a footprint as some of the others. And if you are someone who hits this off the tee, like I am on some short par 4s and things like that, it is great to have a little deeper face and be able to do that. So this one here is 21 degrees. It's set to B1, which is standard loft, a little bit flat. So it's 0.75, I believe, degrees flat, but standard 21 degrees. So I'm a guy who draws the ball a little bit, and this one here, the foot fade setting there, a flat setting, can sometimes help kind of promote a little bit more right start line. So This head here, and then this is shafted up with a Graphite design, Tour AD IZ7 stiff. It's interesting, I got fit for this in TPI, we had the 8 stiff in here, and it was end of day, I'd hit a ton of balls, and I was just tired, and it just felt heavy, and I said, hey, can we try the 7 stiff? And we put it in here, and it felt so much better, and I was like, you know what, on a hot day, you've played a lot of golf, being able to put the 70-gram one in here, it was just easier to play. Easier to swing, didn't have to swing as hard, still stable. This thing still launches the ball up in the air, still controls spin. The IZ's been just a great shaft all around for somebody looking for a little bit more height, but still having good control. So I got fit into this thing, and it's worked really well. I have some other 80-gram shafts in my 7 woods, but this here honestly feels really good, and it plays really well. So I don't think it's something where I really miss that extra weight gram, range going to the 80. It hasn't really changed the feel that much in terms of, being either better or anything like that. So GT2 7 wood, and then we move into a 4-iron, but this time we're going to go hybrid. I actually played this on a trip just recently, so I was going to break it back out. And this is the TaylorMade Qi35 Rescue 4. So it's a 22 degree, and this year they, TaylorMade got rid of the Tour, so there's no Tour hybrid anymore. This thing is kind of a mix of the standard and the Tour. The face or the head's a little bit more compact. It's got the adjustable hosel on it, so you can kind of dial it in. My hosel is set to just standard, 22 degrees. Distance-wise, this thing has been really good in terms of distance and all that. But it's a 4-iron replacement, and I like the size. It's not crazy small like the Tour was, but it's not super huge either. I think it's a great size. I like the carbon on the top. I always say that with the TaylorMade clubs, but I like the kind of silver carbon on there. But overall, I think just, again, much like the Qi10 3 wood, this thing just overall does it all really well. It hits it pretty darn high. It's really forgiving, and it goes pretty far. So distance-wise, it works really well. So we're going to go that in the 22 degree, and this is shafted up with a Fujikura Ventus HB Blue. Now this one's 9X, which is definitely way strong for me. But the boys at Fuji, I think, thought I was faster and younger than I am. But it's actually all right. I think I tipped it a little bit less. I think when you get into the 22, 23 degree heads, I think it goes to like half-inch tipping. I think this thing is straight in from what I remember when I built it. So it is playing just a little bit softer than usual. But the 90-gram range works well when it flows into the iron sets and things like that. So again, this is a shaft that's really good. I think it plays a little bit different than the wood profile. The wood profile has like a really soft handle, stiff mid, and then a really stiff tip. On paper, this says it's kind of very similar, but I feel like that overall feels a little stiffer in the upper section compared to the wood shaft. But again, great mid-launch shaft, smooth feel, really tight, really consistent. The VeloCore Plus, it definitely adds some control and stability to this shaft. So a great club here that will replace the 4-iron. And then we get into irons, and iron-wise, we are going to play a set of irons I haven't played in a while. I played these when I did a 3-swing challenge with it at the end of last year, and then I haven't played them since. So, but the one I really like, and these are the not brand new, but the Cobra King Tech irons. So the generation before this, I think they called it Forge Tech instead, but the King Techs, the version before, I loved what they were all about. I hated the look from Address. They had tons of offset, really long blade length, had a really rounded leading edge. I just didn't think they looked great as a player's iron. This generation, I think Cobra did an amazing job making these things look a lot better, just from a visual standpoint. They took a bunch of the offset out, straightened the leading edge. They just look really, really good. And these things here are hollow body, multi-piece designs. They've got a fast, hot face, thin face built onto a forged body. So good feel, and they've got some speed to them, which it's kind of that player's distance. I love that category. I love that when you look down, it's more of a player's iron. When you hit it, it's got a little distance. It still has forgiveness, everything. It's not the tiniest club out there, which I think is good. It's got a little real estate if you do miss it. But these things are fast. They're hot. And but they play really well, and they sound and feel good. Everything about them, they're just kind of that cheater club. They've got some internal tungsten in them to kind of help with that MOI, make them a little bit more stable. But we're going to play 5 through pitching wedge in these. And yeah, when I took these out for the 3-swing challenge, I was a big fan. I thought they were really good there. I think I played them a couple times after that, and then they've unfortunately been on the bench for some other clubs. So we're going to bust them back out, but these things have been really, really solid. Now these here have a steel shaft in them. Can't talk about them yet. The steel shaft is not out. Unfortunately, I thought it would be out already. I've actually had these prototypes for a long time, and we're just not out. They're just not out yet. So can't say anything about those, but there are just some steel shafts in there that are new. So those will be 5 through pitching wedge. And then we move into wedges, and the first wedge is going to be my old trusty go-to gap wedge, the old Titleist Vokey SM10 5008F grind. This is the one that I built up that literally it's a chrome head, or the Tour Chrome, and it literally is just my go-to. I just don't have a lot of gap wedges in my collection, so I needed some gap wedges to kind of fill in, and this one just goes with just about anything. So if I have a wedge set that I only have a 56 and a 60 or whatever, this just goes in and gets filled in as the gap wedge. So 50 degrees, the F grind's really good. Even though this is 8 degrees, I think it plays a little bit more bounce with that. It doesn't dig as much as I thought, and even compared to my 50.12, which is my normal 50 degree that I play, this actually doesn't dig near as much as I thought it might for being a little bit lower bounce. But a great wedge, tons of spin, great around the greens, and kind of chip and pitch with it. So I really like this thing here. And this has in it a UST Mamiya Dart V 105 Concept 105 wedge. So this is a wedge-specific shaft in the Dart V lineup. The Dart V lineup is, again, kind of super underrated. Very good feel, very stable. I say it's kind of a mid-launch shaft. A little bit stouter feel to it than some other mid-launchers, but really good. And it plays really well in this this wedge. So 105 grams, blends kind of well. Now, it's a little lighter than the prototypes that shafts that I have in the irons, but again, that doesn't make a huge difference to me. I play kind of random shaft weights all over, and it doesn't really bother me. So, but this is the setup here, Dart V 105 wedge shaft in it. So that's gap wedge. And then for sand wedge, we are going to go with the brand new TaylorMade Milled Grind 5 or MG5. So the brand new ones, these are actually forged now. So the MG3s and I believe the MG4s were not. Those were cast. MG4s were way better feeling than the 3s. 3s were very firm, kind of clicky. 4s felt way softer. These are definitely soft as well. Played them just a little bit. I played 18 holes with them just the other day, but we're going to break these things out because they're really good. But yeah, they're forged out of carbon steel. They've got a new kind of face spin tread design on there where they laser etched in some kind of a pattern in there to help with the spin. Of course, it's got the raw face, which usually helps in wet conditions, kind of keep spin consistent, and a new groove design that's supposed to have a really tight tolerance and USG limit, all that stuff. So really good feel on these. And then this one is a 56. It's an SC10. So this is the SC sole, which has a little bit more heel, toe, and trailing edge relief compared to the SB. So it's got a little bit of the ability, you can open the face up a little bit more without the leading edge coming up. Kind of meant for neutral to firm conditions and shallower swings, which I'm a little steep with sand wedge, but I played it once so far and it's been fine. So we're going to play it again and take it out there. But these things spin really well, and yeah, the soles perform. So they look good from address. They got a little bit square toe from address, much like the MG4s had. So if you like that look, these are really great wedges. So we're going to go 56, 5610 with the SC. And then for the lob wedge, it's going to be its matching sibling, which is the 60. And this is going to be the SC09. So the lob wedge, same thing. Now, even though they're both SCs, it's interesting the bounce on, or the amount of relief on the back of the 60 is definitely a little bit more. The bounce is kind of almost pushed back just a touch. This thing here, I hit some really good shots with that 18 holes I took it out with. One particular, like out of a really tight bare area when I missed the green left. Had to hit it up over the green, and I mean, just hit it flush, and the sole got through, just hit the turf, glided right through. It was really, really good. But this thing here, same thing, raw face. It's meant for spin, and these things feel really solid. So I like the new look from the back. I do have to say they're kind of SM7-esque in terms of the stepping pattern on the back, but these things look really good, and they seem to perform really well. I was a big fan of the MG4s. So far, a big fan of the MG5s, but these things here are really good. So 60 SC09. And then for putter, I figure, we got a bunch of TaylorMade in the bottom end of the bag. Why not bust out the old Spider ZT again? So I haven't played this thing in a little bit. I've been kind of gaming my Kevin Burns blade, so I figured it'd been a little time. I haven't busted out the Zero Torque in a while, so I like this thing a lot. I think from the Zero Torque or toe up, however you want to call these things in terms of naming, I think this is one of the best looking ones. I think it's very Spider-esque. They did a great job with the look. The only thing I've seen on tour now, they have a full sight line that runs through the middle, through kind of the shaft. I wish I could get my hands on one of those, but I've been a big fan of this putter. It's really easy to putt with. I think it's super accurate, super consistent. You can get the ball to roll on that intended line really, really easily. So pure roll insert on there, so it's got that immediate top spin, no hopping, no skipping, any of that stuff. But overall, just a really solid putter. KBS steel shaft in this one. This one's 33 inches. I still have never taken the sticker off. And then kind of interesting, they've got this Super Stroke Pistol 1.0 grip that is offset. So you can see that they offset for the shaft lean. So this thing here has like, 2 or 3 degrees of shaft lean forward in it, and this grip helps offset that, give it a little more neutral feel at address. But this is, probably one of the best zero torques out there. So we're going to rock that one in the putter spot. So that is week 19's What's in the Bag. So yeah, we'll see how this one goes. I'm kind of excited. I think this is going to be a solid one. Hopefully we'll have some decent weather. We'll play well. I'm literally traveling, so I'm recording this on a Monday. I'm getting on a flight Tuesday, going down to the Tour Championship. I'm flying back Thursday morning, so hopefully everything goes well. Fingers crossed Delta gets me back, and I'll be able to play and use the set on Thursday in my league. So that is week 19. What's in the bag for the Club Junkie? Check in next week, where I'll let you know how this set went, as well as break out the last official What's in the Bag for my summer league. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you next week.